So each and every time நான் இங்க போயிட்டு ஓபன் பண்ணுவோம் சார். இல்ல வீடியோ இல்லாமலே கூட பண்ணுங்க. சார்ஜ் இல்லாம ஆஃப் ஆகிடுச்சு. வீடியோ இல்லாம கொடுக்கலாம் சார். இதுல கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்காது. திருப்பிட்டே இருக்கோம்ல இது. Hello students, good evening. Good evening students, can you all hear me? Hello. If you can hear me, please raise your hand.
We could not hear you, sir.
Hello students. If you can hear me, please raise your hands. Hello. Hello students. Am I audible to you? Hello students. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Hello. Am I audible? Yes, sir.
சரி, Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Am I audible?
So we should connect with
Ma'am, can you hear me?
We can make him as a host.
now, sir.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
Sir, now it is audible for us.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay. So, what chapter can we start, ma'am? Now,
Respiration. We did
ma'am, what
complete.
chapter can we start now?
Respiration. Only off we did completed in that one.
Ma'am, what chapter can we start now?
So like now, animal kingdom.
Animal kingdom. Ma'am, animal kingdom.
Sir, animal kingdom they like to start with.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So we should start with another chapter. Download another chapter. Animal Kingdom. Write on PDF. Samsung Notes. Sir. Hello, students. Can you all able to see my screen? Yes. Okay, fine. Good. Okay. Yeah, I can. Okay. So, good evening, students. So, this is about animal kingdom, the classification of animal kingdom. So, over a million of species of animals have been discovered till now, and there is a need for classifying all those organisms. Like in classification, so first please know about the basis of classification. Animals are classified based on the common fundamental features, like note down all these things: arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of column, patterns of organs and organ system, maybe digestive, circulatory, reproductive systems, and more actually. Okay, so there are at most around 7 features based on that animals are classified. You have a chart, flow chart here in classification of animals. So this is very, very important to understand on what basis the animals are classified. Animal kingdom, look at that, the levels of organization, body symmetry, body cavity, and all these things basically. Okay, whether the segments are present or not, notochord present or not. So based on that, the animals are going to be classified. Okay, in the kingdom of animals, the common thing we should know is all are multicellular only. Here, no unique organisms are considered. Though unicellular animals means animal-like cells are there, included in Protista. Okay, unicellular animal-like cells are included in Protista. Basically, they are called what? Zooplankton. Okay, so zooplankton. So there are no unicellular organisms classified under animal kingdom. Keep that in mind. And here we will be discussing about these 11 phylums. Okay, in animal kingdom. So these are the 11 phylums. Based on that, we will be studying this animal kingdom classifications. Okay, it's starting from Porifera to Chordata. Okay, so one by one we will be studying. Okay, so knowing about this chart is a basic requisite for understanding classification of organisms under animal kingdom. Okay, let me repeat. Knowing about this chart, basic awareness of this particular chart, flow chart, is a prerequisite to know about understanding the classification of animal kingdom. Okay, we will come to this. Okay, you can use this as the reference. Now, one by one, all the characters, let us study. Okay, if anyone cannot able to follow anything, please, you can very well come forward to ask your doubts getting clarified. Okay, fine, good. So, keep the important things. All the members of animals are unicellular, though. Okay, if they exhibit unicellular characters, unicellular animal-like characters, they are not here. They are in Protista. Just keep that in mind. Protista means fine, but not here. Okay, so coming to the levels of organization, first actually we will be like there in the phylums. First phylum we will be starting with the sponges. It starts with basic cellular level. In animals, the levels of organization starts with very common thing, cells organized into tissues, tissues organized into organs, and organs organized into organ system, and then organism. Okay, so this is the basic thing about classification of animals based on levels of organization, starting with one, cells, tissues, organs, organ system, organism. So 5 levels on which animals are classified. Okay, here like sponges, only cellular level organization. Okay, and then some of the organisms, coelenterate, they show only tissue level organization, and all other organisms organ level followed by organ system levels. Okay, so first thing we should know about is how animals are classified based on levels of organization, only with cells or with tissues or with the rest of the system. So that's the first thing. And examples, though it is given here, when we study about the specific phylum, you can very well note the examples. Fine. So first thing, levels of organization, and some examples are given like organ system also. Of course, we will be coming with these things also. Okay, like in organ system, differences are shown by animals. For example, digestive system, two type, something called complete and incomplete digestive system. What is called complete digestive system? If the organism has mouth to anus, food entry, and then waste exit. Okay, if two different openings are there, it is called complete digestive system. If it is not there, it is incomplete digestive system. Okay, fine. So only one opening is there, it is incomplete, and two openings means one for entry of food and one other for exit of waste or whatever. That is called a complete digestive system, complete and incomplete. Like that, the difference is shown by organisms in circulatory system also. Like if they have, there are three components in the circulatory system: blood and pumping organ, heart, and the blood vessels. If an organism is having all these things, like blood should be there, vessel should be there, and the pumping organ, heart should be there. So if all three components are there, so blood vessels, and the heart, it is called the closed circulatory system. If the blood vessels may be absent, then it is called what? Open circulatory system. Okay, friends, what you should know about from the levels of organization is different phylum shows differences in levels of organization. Some shows only cell level, some shows tissue level, some shows organs and organ system level. That's the first point you should know. And then coming to the organ systems, there are differences shown in organ system also, though animals possess different organ systems. And example of digestive system, if food entry and the waste exit or whatever occurs only one opening, then it is called the incomplete digestive system. Example, in sponges it is there, but look at us, we have our alimentary canal starts with mouth and ends with anus. Okay, food entry and the waste exit, two different opening. So that is called complete digestive system. And then circulatory system, as we said here, open and closed circulatory system. In open circulatory system, actually circulatory system comprises of three components: blood, and then heart, and the blood vessels. If all these three components are present, it is called closed circulatory system, and blood is not transported through the blood vessels. Only blood and heart somewhat is present, then it is called open circulatory system. So there are differences in organ system levels also. Okay, fine. So that's the first thing we should know. And then the next second characters is based on what? Body symmetry. Okay, patterning genes. There are different patterning genes which governs the body symmetry of the organisms. Okay, for example, there are, in simple, according to the text, you see three different symmetries: body symmetry, body shape. You can see. See, sure. Can you see? This is called what? The first one called what? Radial symmetry. Means in such kind of organisms, if you cut the organisms in any plane, you get two equal off. Okay, if the organism is cut in any one plane, you get two equal off. Then such kind of symmetry is called what? Radial symmetry. Okay, for example, you just imagine a tomato, and if you cut here or here, any place you cut, then you get actually two equal off. Okay, so that kind of symmetry, if it is shown, then it is called what? Because one central axis and the development is around, then it is called what? Radial symmetry. Okay, and second symmetry is actually called what? Bilateral symmetry. And you can imagine us. Okay, look at us. Look at our body pattern actually in bilateral symmetry. Like in one plane, if you get two equal off. Okay, in one plane, if you cut, you get two equal off. that is called bilateral symmetry. And this bilateral symmetry also includes what? Many variations. For example, and look at us, the human beings, we show actually the bilateral symmetry. And for example, we have, if we cut the body, we get right side and left side, left right pattern, one thing. Okay. And then you also have the patterning genes in bilateral symmetry. The other components are, we have left right pattern, and then you can see anterior posterior pattern. Okay, top portion, bottom portion, anterior posterior pattern, and then dorsal ventral, or you can say front and back orientation. See, we show bilateral symmetry, and bilateral symmetry is more special, included with other pattern of development also, means left right one equal of we actually get, that's one pattern of development. And also anterior and posterior in the sense our body, bottom means up and bottom, okay, front and back, lower portion means upper portion, lower portion, anterior, posterior, and as well as front and back. Okay, so in bilateral symmetry we can see all these three patterns. Okay, so we have, animals have patterning genes actually which governs the development of all these patterns. Okay, fine. So that's bilateral symmetry. And then the third one is actually called what? Asymmetrical. Okay, only in lower level organisms. Okay, lower, the organism which shows only cellular level. Okay, there we can see asymmetrical, means you cannot define a particular shape. It exists in different forms, simple or complex, like a sheet-like thing or a roll-like thing, but depends upon the species. Okay, mostly sponges, porifera, pore-bearing organism shows that asymmetrical body pattern. Can you understand? So, first thing you should know about levels of organization in classifying animals. 5 levels: cells, tissues, organs, organ system, and organism. In that levels also there are a lot of differences. That's the first thing you should know. And second one is actually like body pattern, symmetry, basically body pattern of development, symmetry, like it is asymmetrical in lower level organisms. And radial symmetry means like it is like a cylindrical shape, you can see. It is like a cylindrical body organization. And third one, and specialized organization, is most complex and bigger level multicellular organisms. Bilateral symmetry. Okay, bilateral means left and right body pattern. Here, not just left and right body pattern is included, but also it signifies left right body pattern, front back body pattern, and anterior posterior. Okay, like a top bottom body pattern, left right, front back, top bottom body pattern. Okay, so all these things are included in symmetry of the organism. That's the second thing we should know. And then coming to the germ layers. Okay, so presence of germ layers. How to see germ layers are nothing but from that germ layers only. There are 3 germ layers. See, germinal layers. There are 3 germinal layers, which is called, one is ectoderm, and then endoderm, and then mesoderm. Ectoderm, endoderm, and then in between actually we have mesoderm. So if the organisms, body organs develop from only 2 germ layers like ectoderm and endoderm, then they are called what? Diploblastic organisms. There is no well-defined mesoderm is present between endoderm and ectoderm. No mesoderm is present. Such kind of organisms are called what? Diploblastic organisms. And if the organism shows well-defined ectoderm, outer layer, endoderm, innermost layer, and in between there are differentiated. Okay, here you can see actually like 3 germ layers: outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, inner endoderm. Okay, all these 3 are present. Then such kind of organisms, 3 germ layers are present. Then such kind of organisms are called what? triploplastic organism. So based on germ layer, organisms are classified into either diploplastic or triploplastic organisms. The three germ layers are endoderm and ectoderm. Okay, here some examples are given, but for example, diploplastic colinterate are actually present. Okay, means later when we see about each and every phylum, you can get to know about this pattern of means this germinal layers based on which the organisms are developed. Okay, so that's the third thing. First thing is levels of organization, and second thing is actually like symmetry, body pattern of development, and third thing is like germinal layers, presence of germinal layers. Two, ectoderm, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, it is diploplastic. Ectoderm, endoderm, in between mesoderm, it is diploplastic organization. Fine. So, and then the fourth one is actually called the body cavity. Okay, presence of body cavity. Called coelom or colum, you can say colum, coelom, whatever. So, if the organism develops like body cavity, basically where this body cavity occurs in the sense, when you study about the animal development, different developmental stages, okay, so like it starts with fertilization, cleavage, morulation, blastulation, gastrulation, neurulation, and then further development. Okay, so there are different developmental stages. Okay, so during the early stages of development, they develop, when they develop a cavity, okay, body cavity, then that is called what? Coelom or colum. Okay, coelomates or collumates, whatever they say. Okay, so based on the presence of column, again the organisms are classified into, look at that, if the column, true column is present, then they are called what? Collumates or coelomates. You can see annelids, molluscus, arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates, chordates. So in most of the organisms, actually column is present. So they are called collumates. Okay. In some of the organisms, there is undifferentiated mesoderm. Okay, means there is no differentiated column is present. In such thing, it is actually called what? Pseudocollumates. Okay, so look at that. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. No defined mesoderm, but mesoderm, when it is scattered in pouches between endoderm and ectoderm. Look at that. Collumates, true body cavity is present. Fine, they are collumates. And opposite to that, we can say which body cavity is absent, they are acollumates. Example, platyhelminths. These two are extremes are easy to understand. If body cavity is present, collumates. If body cavity is not present, acollumates here. Okay, platyhelminths. But how to differentiate pseudocollumates from other two type of things? See, look at that. Here only you have to understand correctly. Some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, mesoderm is scattered in pouches between endoderm and ectoderm. Such kind of organization, here you can see, it is scattered. Then this is actually called what? Pseudocollumates. Such kind of organisms are called what? Pseudocollumates. Example, Aschelminths. We will come to that. See, like they are worms basically. Helminths. Helminths are worms. We will study that also in detail. Okay, so fourth levels we should know is column, presence of column. And then look at that, the fifth one, segmentation. Okay, segmentation. See, what are called the segmentation? We may think when you see the cockroach, you can see body, abdomen, there are segments. And when you see like a caterpillar or earthworm, you can see there are segments visibly seen. Okay, see, these segments basically are called what? Like show, for example, the earthworm shows lot of segments in its body. Okay, if this is the earthworm, you can see lot of segments in the body. So that is called segmentation, or you can say metamerism. You may wonder, sir, sometimes if I say humans also show segmentation, do you agree or not? If humans also show segmentations, we may think where we have segments. Yes, we have segments. Look at us vertebral column. Okay, if you look at our vertebral column, starting with the cervical bones, and then thoracic bones, and then lumbar bones, and then sacral bones and coxal bones. So there are 5 different segments are there. Even in the thoracic cavity, if you like in anatomy of especially like a skeletal system anatomy, the skeletal system anatomy, when we discuss, there we will see segments in the vertebral column. Okay, every segment will have a specific number of bones. So what I'm trying to show is like not just earthworm only or segmented animals, even complex multicellular organism like us also will show segmentation in body pattern. See, some segments visibly seen in the external body, but the segments which are internal segmentation is present in humans. Okay, especially in the vertebral column organization. So segmentation, another important aspect of animal classification. And then finally, you have notochord. Okay, so notochord, like what is notochord? It is from the mesoderm derived rod-like structure. Okay, developed during the embryonic development. See, notochord. From that notochord only, like if they have well differentiated notochord, we classify animals into chordates, and if they do not have that, non-chordates. Okay, so 2 classifications. See, when you look into the phylum, you can say separate them into non-chordates and chordates. Presence of notochord, absence of notochord. Okay, look at us. We have notochord. From that notochord only, our brain, spinal cord, peripheral nerves, neurons, everything arise. Okay, vertebral column, what means many are the component of that. So,
Voice is breaking,
notochord.
sir.
Yes. Hello. Anything wanted to ask? Anything? Fine. So, notochord. Another important aspect by which animals are classified. Okay, fine. So, in simple, levels of organization, and then pattern of development like symmetry, and then third, column is present or not. So look at that. Diploplasm. Okay, the germ layer is third one, and column is present or not. So based on that, fourth one, and then segmentation, and then notochord. Can you understand? So these are all the different aspects by which animals are classified. So please be sure about all these 6 characters. Okay, fine. Now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Then we can go to discuss about each and every phylum in detail. Anybody is having any doubt? Hello, students. Anybody is having any doubt, or shall we continue, students? So shall we continue? Please raise your hands. I can see. If you're okay listening, please raise your hands. A kind of signal. Okay, fine, good. Thank you. Thank you. Fine. So if anyone want to ask anything, please come forward. Hello, students. Anyone want to ask anything? Okay, fine. So that's why I see maybe like interaction part is little more something has to be done. So that's why I'm just continuing. Okay, fine. But please, if you cannot follow anything, please let me know. Okay, fine. Say till now, listen, till now, Just the 6 important aspects alone I discussed, not highlighted, insisted much on the examples. Okay, generally we discussed. Okay, not much importance given for examples. But hereafter, when we study about each and every phylum, we should know about the examples. Okay, knowing about the examples are very, very important thing. Okay, and first thing, let us start with the phylum Porifera. Okay, we are almost going to study about 11 phylums. Okay, 11 phylums in animal kingdom. Okay, so first phylum Porifera, and please note down the defining characteristics of phylum Porifera. The first point you should know is they are commonly known as sponges. Okay, members of phylum Porifera are commonly known as sponges. Okay, Porifera means like pore bearing organisms. What they are? Pore bearing. In the body, you can see pores. Okay, like in the bodily pattern, you can see lot of pores. That's why they are called what? Pore bearing organisms. That's why Porifera. That's the first thing you should know. Porifera, pore bearing organisms. And then sponges. Examples are sponges. And where they are present? Marine. They are present in ocean, sea, salt water with high salt concentration. Where it is present? So there they are actually present. Okay. Porifera, pore bearing organisms, and then they are commonly known as sponges, and then they live in ocean, okay, or marine environment. Fine. Look at the body. See, we discussed almost 6 characteristics, right? All those 6 bases we are going to fit in. Okay, first, the body pattern is actually asymmetrical. Okay, they show the symmetry is that they do not form one common symmetry. For example, if you look at here, okay, this is Cycon, example, Cycon, and this is Euspongia, and this is Spongilla, okay, Spongilla. So, each of the organisms are showing a different body pattern, okay? There is no common body pattern. In any way you cannot get 2 equal of, okay? So, and they present in various forms. Body forms are different. Okay, that's why asymmetrical. And already we saw one more important thing. Okay, coming to the first levels of organization, we saw levels of organization. They show only cellular level of organization. Okay, they are multicellular, but they have only cellular level of organization. Okay, 6 characters, let us fit in. So they show only cellular level of organization. And symmetry. Second is symmetry. They show actually they are asymmetrical. So second one, okay. And then third we saw. Like what are the things which we saw? The third. Look at that. The another special aspects. In the body, they have pores. They have true organization in the sense they have true canal system. So water can enter and exit in the body. Okay, in the body pattern, the water can enter and exit. So they have sponges have good water transport or water canal system. Okay, and the entry of water called what? Minute pores. Because of the presence of this minute pores only, they are called what? Porifera. Okay, they are called porifera. So that minute pores are called what? Singular is ostium. The singular is what? Ostium, and plural is ostia. Okay, ostium, ostia. In the body, many pores are present. The pores are called what? Singular is ostium and plural is ostia. That's the main important thing. Okay, so and then water enters through the minute pores called ostia in the body wall, and then the internal body cavity. So the pore is called what? Ostium, and then the internal body cavity is actually called what? Spongiocele. Okay, so the internal body cavity, which is actually called what? Spongios. And another important thing. And then from where it goes out through osculum. Okay, another important part in the body is actually called what? Osculum. So if you look into the body organization, ostium, spongiocele, osculum. Okay, so these are all the three levels in which they are organized, body cavity. Okay, fine. And then, like, what is the function of this pores which are present in the body? Okay, this pores actually they helps in food gathering, respiration, removal of waste, all of the life processes. We call it as life processes. Okay, like they are done through because see, look at us. We have nose, mouth, and different organs to carry out majority of life processes. But sponges, they do not have such kind of organ system, tissue system level of organization. Only cells are present. Okay, so the pores only performs all kind of functions. Okay, fine. And then look at that cells. Since they show cellular level of organization, special type of cells present in the sponges we should know, and their special functions we should know. Okay, so look at that. What are the special cells which are present in the sponges and what functions they perform? Okay, please note down. One thing is called what? Choanocytes. First type of cells are called what? Choanocytes or collar cells. Okay, like they only line the spongiocele and the canals, lining of spongiocele and the canal by the choanocytes. And then digestion, of course, food can enter through the ostium and it is digested is intracellular. Within every cells, the body, the cellular digestion can occur. Okay, and fine. Other type of cells. So first you should know about choanocytes. And then second actually supported by the spicules or spongin fibers. Okay, spicules or spongin fibers. Okay, they have a special unit in the body that forms the skeletal system, body order skeletal system. Okay, they have a fibrous, like we have endoskeletal system, we have a bone, like a different skeletal system. That's why we get a different shape. So like that, sponges get different shapes because of what? The kind of fibers they have. That fibers are actually called what? Spicules, or they are called what? Spongin fiber. So that's the second type of thing you should know. And then like just come to the, just look at that. They have ostium and spongiocele cavity and then osculum. And that opening, the cell structure, choanocytes, and then spicules. Okay, so these things and their functions you should know. Now, coming to the sexes. Okay, so they are hermaphrodite. You know what are hermaphrodites? See, this term is usually used in animals. Hermaphrodite is the term used in animals. For example, in plants and all, we use a term called bisexual plants, bisexual flower, அதாவது monoecious, dioecious, so such kind of terms we use. But in animals, we use a special term, okay, like called hermaphrodite, means both male and female reproductive components are present in the same organism. One organism with both male and female reproductive organs. So that is called what? Hermaphrodite. Since they show only cellular level of organization, in some, like they have able to produce egg cell and sperm cells by the same individual. Okay, sponges produce male and female gametes. Okay, sex reproductive cells are formed within the same organism. So that's why they are called what? Hermaphrodites. Okay, so this is about sexual reproduction, and they also undergo asexual reproductions. What is the method of asexual reproduction? It is called fragmentation. Okay, fragmentation means, for example, this is, they have such kind of body organization. They, look at my hand, it is fragmented into 5, each 5 fingers, like from that every whole organism developed. 5 organisms can develop. So that is called what? Body can split into many fragments, and every fragment will have the tendency to develop into a new organism. So that is called what? Fragmentation. That is a asexual method of reproduction, fragmentation. Okay. And then fertilization, since male and female reproductive cells are produced within the body, like fertilization is internal. Okay, internal fertilization within the body, fusion of male and female gametes can occur. Okay, internal fertilization. And then the development is indirect. Okay, see, in animals, we use two pattern of development. One is called what? Direct development. Indirect, next one is indirect development. See, indirect development in the sense, the egg, when fertilized, it develops into embryo, and the embryo forms larva. Okay, you can larva, a worm-like structure called larva. Okay, larva forms, and then the adult comes by metamorphosis, whatever. So, if such kind of development, there is larval stage in between. That is called what? Indirect development. Means egg will not directly develop into adult. Instead, it goes larva and then develops. So that development is called what? Indirect development. Then look at this. We do not form a larva and all. Okay, the egg develop into embryo, and embryo slowly develops and finally becomes. So that development, look at us in complex organisms like us, that is direct development. So sponges here show indirect development. Okay, look at that. They show indirect development. Okay. So in between there is a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Okay, larva is morphologically distinct from the adult. And many organisms, larva looks somewhat identical morphologically. Okay, somewhat. Fine. So that's about the sponges basically. And please know in here, very, very important thing is the examples. There also it was mentioned on Spongilla and Euspongia, the diagrams. And also please know about the common names also. Okay, common names of the organisms. Okay, fine. Because some in your need pattern and all, they just compare, they do not mention it is a porifera. It belongs to porifera. Just like that, some characters are given and different organisms are given. You have to match it with porifera. Okay, so please understand the basic characters as well as the examples. Okay, and one more thing, we just quickly finish. Okay, with this, I think we can finish today's class. The another one is the phylum Coelenterata or called Cnidaria. Earlier, this is called Cnidaria, second phylum, but now it is called what? Coelenterata. Okay, Cnidaria or Coelenterata. And so they are aquatic, means presence in water, mostly marine, sometimes freshwater also. Means mostly marine in the sense, sometimes it is present in freshwater also. And it is present in two important forms. One is called what? Sessile, another one is free living. Sessile means attached. Sessile means what? Attached. Okay, sessile means attached. Free swimming means motile actually. They can move, float, freely floating in the water. So they are aquatic, means marine or freshwater. First thing. Second is attached or free swimming. Second thing. Okay. And then look at the body symmetry, radial symmetry. They show mostly radial symmetry. Okay. And as I told you, Cnidaria, because why they are called Cnidaria, see something called cnidoblasts or cnidocytes. They contain stinging capsules or nematocysts because of the presence of nematocysts or cnidocytes. Basically, they are the cells and they are present on the tentacles of the body. See, look at that. They are the tentacles. You can see the tentacles on the body. Okay. So, in the tentacles, if they have what? Actually, nematocysts or cnidocytes. That's why they are called what? Cnidaria. Okay. And then For what this nidoplast, the tentacles with the nidoplast are used? Anchorage, support, defense, and capturing of prey. Okay, so like this is one important organ, like does majority of the functions in the organisms: support, defense mechanism, and capturing prey. So feet and arms, they perform various functions. Okay, fine. And then they show tissue levels of organization. Okay, nidoblasts show tissue level of organization, and they are diploplastic. So please understand these terms. Okay, like we discussed about all these things. That's why I'm not just insisting on that tissue level of organization and diploplastic. Diploplastic means it is having only endoderm and ectoderm. Okay, endoderm and ectoderm. No mesoderm is present. And now they have central gastrovascular cavity. Okay, they have central gastrovascular cavity with single opening called what? Hypostome. Okay, gastrovascular cavity like mouth. You can say this is the mouth. Hypostome. Okay, is present. Okay, like mouth with hypostome. One opening is present. And see, in Porifera visa, digestion is intracellular. But here you can see digestion is intracellular and extracellular, both. Okay, and then the another important interesting part here is actually they have some or the nidarians have corals like skeletal system, endoskeletal system, exoskeletal system. Externally, they have a skeletal system like crabs and all, which is made up of calcium carbonate. Okay, they have hypostome, they have exoskeletal system, and then they exhibit. See, this is one important part. Like nowhere you can see this character called two important body forms. Basically, they have two important body forms called polyp, medusa. Please understand this one. With this, we can finish. So just 2 minutes, I'll finish. Polyp and medusa, two important body forms showed by Cnidaria. Okay, see, the polyp is sessile. You know, sessile means attached and cylindrical form. Example, Hydra adamsia. Okay, and medusa, like whereas medusa is umbrella shape and free swimming. Example is Arella jelly. See, polyp are attached and cylindrical body type. Example, Hydra adamsia. Medusa are free swimming and umbrella shape. Here cylinder, here umbrella, here attached, here free swimming. Okay, here example Hydra and adamsia, here Arella and jellyfish. Okay, this is one important characters. And another important thing is interesting is actually look at that. From polyp, see, listen, those cnidarians which exhibit both forms, they show alteration of generation. This is one very, very important term. Alteration of generation. Please listen. You know, polyps produce medusa, and then medusa produce polyps. Polyps produce medusa. Medusa produce polyps. See, there are two different forms it is present. From, for example, P form, M form. From P form to M form is produced. From N form to P form is produced. So that's the main thing about this Cnidaria. Anyway, with this, let me stop, and then please know the examples of all these organisms. Okay, fine. Hope you can understand. Thank you. We'll continue the rest in the next class. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, please go to your next class. Thank you. Are you all listening? Hello, students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you. Hope, I think my time is over.
Next session, if you post,
Madam?
sir, from next session, if you post some MCQ question, it would be useful for them. MCQ
Next
questions.
key questions. Sure, madam. I'll come with MCQ questions of this particular thing. And even before that, I'll contact. I need to discuss with you, ma'am, please. So we will plan accordingly. Even before today's class, I wanted to discuss with you. and I'll get your contact number from Raghav sir, and I'll stay in touch with you, ma'am. We will plan accordingly. More productively, we will handle all the sessions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. MCQs next class, definitely I'll give.